Hello and welcome to yet another Ships of World of Warships episode. Today we are looking at the battleship, the South Carolina, also in history known as the USS South Carolina or BB-26. The USS South Carolina, the lead ship of her class of dreadnought battleship, was the fourth ship of the United States Navy to be named in the honor of the 8th state. She was also the first American dreadnought. Thought that she did not incorporate a turbine propulsion like the HMS Dreadnought, South Carolina design included revolutionary aspects as well as primarily the super firing arrangement of her main battery. She was laid down in December 1906 and launched in July 1908 before being commissioned to the U.S. Atlantic Fleet March 1910. South Carolina spent much of her career in the Atlantic and the Caribbean patrolling the eastern coast of the United States. She made 2 trips to Europe in 1910 and 1911 and participated in a visit by a German cruiser squadron in 1912. In 1913 to 1914 she frequently patrolled the coast of Mexico and to protect American interests during the Mexican Revolution, and in April 1914 she took part in the United States occupation of Veracruz. After the United States entered World War I in April 1917, South Carolina trained sailors for the rapidly expanding wartime Navy, and in late 1918 she was assigned convoy escort duty. An accident with her propellers in September kept her from active service for the remainder of the conflict. In 1919 she made 4 trips to bring American soldiers back to Europe. Midshipman training cruises followed in 1920 to 21, but the Washington Naval Treaty of 1922 cut her career short. She was broken up for scrap as a part of the Arms Limitation Treaty starting mid-1924. Her design. The South Carolina was 138 meters long overall and had a beam of 24 meters and a draft of 7 meters. She displaced 16,257 tons as designed up to the 17,900 tons at full combat load. The ship was powered by a 2-shaft vertical triple expansion engines rated up to 16,500 horsepower and 12 coal-fired Babcock and Wilcox boilers generating top speed of 18.5 knots. That's around 34 kilometers an hour. The ship had a cruising range of 9,260 kilometers and at a speed of 10 knots. She had a crew of 869 officers and men. The ship was armed with an aim battery of 8 12-inch or 305 millimeter caliber Mark V guns in her 4 twin gun turrets on the center line, which were placed in 2 super firing pairs forward and aft. A secondary battery consisted of 22 3-inch 76mm guns mounted in the casemates along the side of the hull. As was the standard for capital ships of the period, she carried a pair of 21-inch torpedo tubes submerged in her hull on the broadside. South Carolina main armored belt was 305mm thick over the magazines, 10-inch or 255mm over the machinery spaces and elsewhere. Armor deck was 38 to 64mm thick. The gun turrets have 12-inch thick faces, while supporting barbettes had 10-inch armor plating. Alright, so that's a little bit about the South Carolina and its role. In the world of warships, she's the first dreadnought in the US Navy, and basically, due to her limited dimensions, the ship is relatively weak armament and has rather low speed. She's a fairly decent ship. For her tier, she has quite good armor and range, which prove only to be a problem when she faces higher tier ships. South Carolina is one of the first ships in the game to feature super firing main turrets, which allows her for maximum firepower while not showing full broadside to the ship. She does have severe limitations, however, when it comes to her top speed, a pattern that's repeated when succeeding US battleships until the Tier 8 North Carolina, and maintains still a painfully slow top speed of only 18 knots when fully upgraded. Yeah, as you can see, we're dragging around 15 knots when going forward, or up to 18 knots. So she's rather slow. Players who want to do well with her must utilize her strength. She's not a long-range sniper, she's a brawler. Make sure that South Carolina is always headed towards the fight. Load armor-piercing shells in the Citadel cruiser and Citadel cruisers and battleships at close range. Turn away and kite once the enemy begins to give chase. Do not be afraid of destroyers, blast them with a broadside and turn away in the anticipation of their torpedoes. Just like any ship, she's generally best to remain with the fleet and always angle her armor from enemy battleships. Her pros: decent guns for her, super firing turrets, good armor for the tier. She has a decent turning radius, good accuracy and penetration against broadside cruisers and battleship. Longest range of all tier 3 battleships as well. Well, not to mention, she's kind of fun to sail in. I mean, look at her. She's just beautiful. Cons: struggles when upper tiered, of course. Tier 4 parks a heavier armament and frequently faster. Poor secondary armament, extremely weak AA armament, unlikely to encounter aircraft at her tier. Ineffective secondary guns leave her vulnerable to destroyers. She's very easy to detect, worse detection radius in all tier 3 battleship, but her gun range does mitigate that somewhat. And sluggishness can be frustrating to the new players who might be new to the battleships, yes. When it comes to research, captains should first and foremost research propulsion mod 2 to improve her abysmal top speed to somewhat workable. And the next captain should research his gunfire control to improve everything, and then should research Hull B to obtain more hit points and some AA guns. Researching Hull build allows captains to proceed to the Wyoming, which we already covered within the tier. So the major hindrance to the South Carolina's combat potential is her speed. She is, at the beginning she has only 15.8 knots or 18 knots when fully upgraded. Most ships, including St. Louis, can easily escape her firing range. The attempt to position ship correctly can prove very difficult. As such, propulsion module is probably the most important to lock and unmount for her to perform better. Right. So, within this fight, I have noticed that I was not basically going, you know, straight head-to-heads because this was very early until I really... I mean, each ship has uniqueness, and I figured that her strength was best to stay a little bit away and just bombard enemy ships, but that was also an option. So as you can see, I'm bombarding here the Nassau, hopefully. At 13 kilometers, it's a decent and fair target, so we'll see. Okay, I think I'm gonna turn hard to starboard. Alright, hard to starboard, and I think I want to go behind this island to actually get closer into the fight. Now, the enemy has actually, here in this fight, they have 2 aircraft carriers, so we might be wary of the planes, but I don't see them. They seem to be harassing other ships mainly. The Nassau is getting pummeled. Let's see if we manage... Oh, a hill just got in the way. That's a damn shame. And one thing that I forgot to mention, that on all of these battleships, the turrets turn painfully slow. So until you bring your guns to bear, it takes a while. Oh look, Phoenix just standing there. Don't mind if I do. All stations. Armor piercing and have fun. Oh, she is going a little bit rear. Okay, fair enough. And that Nassau is slowly progressing. I think the torpedoes will end them though. Oh, and Phoenix goes to the flames. It seems like the Nassau managed to dodge most of the torpedoes. But let me see if I can help with the broadside here. And... come on, she's almost at the end of my range, so let's fire, see what happens. Come on. Some good hits. Nice. Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna turn hard to port actually and see if I can give chase to her. The destroyer did mess up my plans a little bit with the aforementioned smoke. Oh, there she is. But she's out of my reach now. Well, I hope just to get a little bit more ahead, and we have this battleship and 2 more destroyers to take out. So, and of course the 2 carriers, but I think we will have won by points by then. I've been quite enjoying World of Warships. Do you guys let me know if you like these episodes? I mean, this is one of the first when I was playing. I was obviously still not having a Wyoming at that point, because I decided that I would start recording the videos after I was done with the after I was moved to Wyoming. But I'm mainly playing the US ships. Not due some personal preference, it's mostly to the visual appearance, but eventually I'll get into others as well. And there goes the B-170U. Let's see if another hit would end her. Yes, it did. So we have 1 more destroyer and 1 more this battleship to finish off, together with the 2 aircraft carriers. Oh, it's a Clemson. Let's see if we greet her broadside. Nope. I really want to give chase to the battleship because, I mean, let's face it, destroyer, I don't think I'm gonna be able to hit, to be honest. And the battleship is gone. Okay. Then I guess we should devote ourselves to the destroyer. Let's turn hard to starboard, bring all the guns to bear, and hopefully take care of that Clemson over there. The Clemson is taking over B, which is unfortunate.
Our victory is in sight.
I mean, the rest of our forces are holding C, so we are now having A and C. I don't think the enemy team will be able to do much here, actually. But still, they're putting up a good fight. I'll give them that. Let's see if we can... By overall, this... I actually like this lumping behemoths, you know, going into the fight. They're kind of actually quite nice. That's at least my experience with them. So, yeah, let's see how it works.
Our victory is in sight.
Our victory is in sight. If nothing else, we'll win by points here. Let's see if we manage. Ah, there's a destroyer. Oh, come on. Take aim. Oh, she is far. I don't know if there's a point for me to shoot at her yet. She took B and is going for C, but she will be greeted by the destroyer and a battleship, so... I think it's better that I'll start chasing the aircraft carriers. See if I can help in that capacity. Oh, there's an aircraft carrier. It's a Langley. Of course. Now, I think that my teammates will be able to take down that, or they won't. Actually, nope. Looks like the destroyer killed half the battleship. Okay. Yeah, well, it's a Clemson, so it has the full range of torpedoes, so... I think nevertheless we're still gonna have a narrow points victory.
Our victory is in sight.
Come on, where is that? Oh, 2 carriers are there. Can we bombard them? Okay, Langley. I think it's almost gone. Come on. My range is 15.7 kilometers. Come on, 15.8, almost. And up in flames she goes, which I think will give a significant dent to the enemy. The other one is at 15.7, so almost I will be able to bring my guns to bear. Fire. And I decided to fire HEs because at least to set her ablaze or something. Oh, and we have a hit. And one that penetrates it even better. So, the battle ends in 5 minutes. Let's see if we manage to get at least a points victory or something. Or at least some good shots on her lined up. Come on. I'm also sailing towards B just in case. Ah, there she is. Come on. I'm gonna switch to armor piercing rounds now after this volley. Ooh, I set her on fire. See? Now that's a good thing. So now the enemy has more points, or the more holding more points, but I think it's already too late for them, because if we destroy this carrier, she's a goner. And another armor-piercing volley, and I think she'll go back to the dust. And up and away she goes. Okay, well that takes care of the carriers, so it's only destroyer left, and we are already 1963 points, which means victory is pretty much assured here. Overall, good game. GG, everybody. Well, guys, I mean, as always, put your tips on how to fight in this battleship specifically, but also how to fight in others as well. But I hope you will like this fight. Do let me know what you think. Like, as always, like if you like the episode. And as we move towards the end of the fight, I hope I will see you all guys in the next one. And yes, do connect with me on social media. Well, you know, Facebook page, Twitter, and all that jazz. On Facebook, I typically post the upcoming plans. On Twitter, I announce the new episodes, as well on my Discord. On Discord, I sometimes coordinate when I'm playing together with some friends, and yeah, oh, and they are actually, it's a feisty fight. Okay, let's go in and see if we can cap a point, if nothing else. At least deny them the victory. It's a close-knit match. Yeah, we have started to cap an area. And that should tip the scales in our favor, and hopefully not losing any more ships, because I think that was what happened. We lost a ship there, and yeah. That caused some point loss on our side, at least. I'm just firing at random because I have nowhere, not even a clue where I should be firing. I think I'll be able to cap this point before the timer expires, which will definitely secure us a victory. Oh, I don't like the look of these torpedo bombers. Move away, move away. Oh, left, 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 left. Ow! That did hurt. And there's the Clemson. Let's give her a broadside if we can. So hold on.
Our victory is in sight.
Boink! Right in the kisser. Or in the head, actually. But, yep. She's firing a little bit at me, but it's too late. And there we go. We won by points. Yes, pretty decent fight. I haven't participated too much in it, but still it was fun to take a look and see how it went. So, as always guys, like if you like the episode, hit subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. This is Groundfork signing off.